What up, what up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mo.J and we are locked in. I have another Ryan Coogler article because he dropped a documentary on July 27th on Hulu called Hurricane Katrina, Race Against Time. And this show is basically about the failures that happened in New Orleans when Hurricane Katrina was on the way. Now, I know a lot of us, we remember Hurricane Katrina. We remember everything that we heard about it. My father actually went down to Hurricane Katrina while he was in the army, and he was actually helping people out. And he was one of the black men that were actually out there helping the black people out and not having any of his people bring weapons around there and scaring the locals who were just trying to survive. But before we jump into this article, if you like TV shows, breakdowns, because I'm going to check this show out, then hit your subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Make sure you hit that like button. We're on the road to 55,000 subscribers with a goal of 60,000 by the end of the year. So let's jump into it. This is Hurricane Katrina, Race Against Time by our brother, Ryan Coogler. There's no New Orleans before and after, revisiting Hurricane Katrina in a new docuseries. With a 20-year anniversary of Hurricane Katrina approaching, a powerful 5-part docuseries produced by Ryan Coogler takes a look back at the many lives affected. Now, this aired July 27th, which was last Sunday, and it says earlier this year, NFL fans from across the country descended on New Orleans for the Super Bowl. But even after the Big Easy rushed to put its best face forward for the big game and quickly turn the page from a New Year's Eve attack on a famed tourist district, there was no way of concealing the derelict homes, watermarked buildings, and other ravages of Hurricane Katrina on the surface. Now, if you know what they're talking about, at the end of the year, the beginning of the year, they did have that incident where the man drove through there. So New Orleans, they have been dealing with a lot of stuff, and it's the 20-year anniversary. And I think this docuseries is probably something good that you should be able to watch, especially without us having a lot of TV shows that me personally that I'm breaking down. So I'm going to look into this and I'm going to see if it's weekly or if it's actually all at one time. But I'm thinking it's weekly. Let me get that information for you. So it appears that all of the episodes are up by now. It says the Hurricane Katrina docuseries, Race Against Time, produced by Ryan Coogler, premiered on January 27th on National Geographic, with the first 3 episodes airing back to back to back. All episodes are available to stream on Disney Plus and Hulu on July 28th. So all 5 episodes are out. So if you definitely need you something to binge going into this weekend, if you haven't heard about this, definitely give it a look, check it out, support our people. And also, this is a moment in history that we really can't forget. So I'm going to dive into it this weekend more than likely, but I just seen it pop up today. So that's why I'm doing this article for you all. On the left side of the screen, we do see 4 out of 5 stars for Hurricane Katrina, Race Against Time, the review. A gripping, epic look at New Orleans tragedy 20 years later. And this re-examines the epic storm from 20 years later, the 5-part series, which was made for National Geographic. It counts Ryan and Zenzi Coogler as the producers. They're saying that this series is a tragedy thriller told through forensic analysis. The biggest jump scares come in the hindsight revelations. The first episode provides a refresher on Hurricane Pam, the multi-agency worst-case scenario planning exercise that was conducted a year before Katrina and essentially predicted everything that would happen, down to the reports of violence breaking out across the city. Now, there is I don't know if not a meteorologist, but there was a gentleman down in New Orleans that was telling them, hey, we need to fix these levees. He pretty much knew that there was going to be a perfect storm and all of this would happen. But of course, funding and money and people wanting to do other stuff, politics, they overlooked it. So that's what they're talking about Hurricane Pam, where they actually took Hurricane Pam. It was an exercise. Exercise means, practice, walkthrough. And they said this what could potentially happen, but no one paid any attention to it. And they were like, oh, man, that's a once in a lifetime thing. But obviously the levees, they weren't prepared for that. And that's what happened. So they're also going to talk about what was going on while people were at the Superdome and all those things before people were bussed out to Houston. And I know a lot of people talk about Hurricane Katrina. Why didn't they leave? If you look how a lot of these people were living, and they still live that way also. I mean, they're displaced into other cities, but they were living in poverty. Some people didn't even have vehicles. They didn't have the opportunity to actually leave New Orleans. So the reason I got so caught up in Hurricane Katrina and doing research myself was because, like I said, my father, he was sent down there on the response. In Race Against Time, the clock runs down quickly while counting down the hours until the storm makes landfall, and then ticks slowly on for days as storm victims and lifesavers wait for the cavalry to come in. While the 5 hour series, a 2 year production effort, I found myself edging from horrified to heartbroken to furious as opportunistic politicking and rashes of misinformation sabotage efforts time again. And that misinformation was black people were looting, white people were trying to survive. They were trying to say that there weren't anyone in the houses. It was just all kinds of stuff going on at this point. People were trying to give out contracts, not wanting to go rescue people in certain neighborhoods. It was just all over the place. The National Guard came down there. They had weapons drawn on the people, treating them like they were refugees and they were just trying to survive. It was just a rough time. And for us that weren't down there, we were fortunate enough to be at our homes and in the safety, but we were watching this live on television. It wasn't like we were watching a foreign land. This was our people. And that's where we got the infamous Kanye West saying George Bush doesn't care about black people. So this was just a moment in history that any of us born before, I say 95, because that'll give you 10 years, will never forget. With the mix of home video and archival video footage, Curry, the TV producer, the docuseries confidently stitches together a range of perspectives on the mushrooming calamity from a city's leader to emergency managers to residents who saw their lives and loved ones washed away. Initially, our team combed through hundreds of hours of archival material in identifying Katrina survivors who we found compelling in hopes that we might track them down. So it seems like they did their research, and this is a 2 year project that they put together. So I'm definitely going to check it out. I'm interested in seeing how they put it together. I've watched other documentaries. Spike Lee actually had a documentary. I said When the Levees Break. I think it was something of that nature. But there's all kinds of things on YouTube. So if you get a chance, check this out and let me know what you think about it. Because I'm going to try to watch it this weekend, either this weekend or next weekend for sure, that I'm going to try to knock these 5 episodes out. All right, what are your thoughts on this whole situation? What do you remember from Katrina? Do you have anybody that was affected by Katrina? Because I mean, there's a lot of different stories. Did you donate to Katrina? Did you contribute? Send clothes down there, food, money, aid? Did you go and volunteer? Because again, this was our people. This was Americans that were going through this, and the proper planning, it just wasn't there. And also at that time, New Orleans was still one of the lower level cities as far as the poverty rate. You know, they had a high poverty rate. So the money wasn't there. And of course, you know, corruption is always going to play a part because America, the dollar is the power. But let me know what you think. I'm Modi J. If you like this kind of content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate each and every one of you. We're on that road to 60,000 subscribers. Hit that like button. Thanks for watching. I'm out.